Good evening, and here we are again. I'm your host, Victoria Beale, for another wonderful NTV Unscripted. Now, today we have a very special episode for you. We're going to be talking to Mr. Joe Jardinsa, who's a family man, first and foremost, self-made billionaire, and our main subject matter is addressing all the fake news and cyberbullying that he's had to endure over the past few years. So we're going to talk now to Joe Jar. Joe Jar, thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem, thank you for having me. Nice to see you again.
Long time coming as well.
It is, it's been months. I mean, you're very busy, I'm very busy flying about. So yeah, very thankful to NTV for having us here, and let's have a very exciting and interesting show.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about, first of all, your early life. Where were you born, your family, etc.? Just tell us about that.
So yeah, born in Coventry, to two amazing parents, obviously.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad came from India, 1959, 64 respectively. Like most immigrants, to work, send the money back. We lived in quite a big, large Bengali community in Coventry, so a lot of the friends I had were, or still are, from the Bengali community. It was good, very, very family orientated. And one thing which I knew very young, that I knew money was going to play a very important role in my life, but I didn't realise how important it's going to be. So my dad worked in a factory 6-7 days a week, earning £140. I'm the youngest of six.
Wow.
And we lived in a 2 up, 2 down in Coventry, and that was it. Really, we were happy. I mean, we didn't have much. We didn't have a car for years. I remember walking everywhere, doing our shopping every Thursday with my mum, walking 2 miles there, 2 miles back with heavy bags. And there was no, we didn't feel we were missing out on anything, because we didn't have a lot anyway. So the local Bengali community, all the English people that we were living with, we just sort of worked together, and that was, I missed that sort of family
community spirit.
Do you know what I mean? Because the more high you go up the social ladder from a financial perspective, you miss that, because it's all fake. People talk to you because you got money rather than they want to know more about you. So that was interesting. And then I just started working, and then tragically my brother passed away in a car accident when I was very young. And that really changed everything, and I realised that we're not here forever. Doesn't matter how much money you've got, we are going to die. It doesn't matter what religion you're from, whether Islam, Sikhism, Hinduism, Jewish. We are all going to go. And the other lesson I learnt was, we are on our own. When you get married, your kids, they leave, they get married. Your mum and dad pass away. We are all on our own, and even when the sun goes down, your shadow goes with it, right?
Yes.
So I just felt that I had to do something which is self-sufficient, and I like to help as many people as I can, and I've done that, and I still do that. But again, just going back to my school time, I wasn't very academically very smart,
right?
Because I had slight ADHD, and which you've noticed today, and I'm not ashamed of anything.
It's a gift, because I have it as well.
Yeah. I'm dyslexic as well. I don't think these things are here to test us, right?
Yes.
And everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that, good, bad, or indifferent. So just enjoy what you have. And so I made money very, very quickly, because I just wanted to make as much money as possible. Why? Because I could give more. So for me, it's all about giving. Receiving is great. If we do a good job, Vicky, we'll get paid, and that's a byproduct of what we do. But I don't work for money. I used to when I first started, but now things change, and I've changed, I've evolved as well. But we'll talk about it later, but as you evolve, there are people out there that want to just stab you and just be negative. And I don't know why. Yeah, and I don't know why. And I'm a firm believer of, when you meet somebody new, try and leave them better position mentally when you first met them. So never be angry or upset. Just try and be nice. And I've always said this, it's good to be good and it's nice to be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And so I want to know about the very first business that you had, as enterprise. Can you remember what that was?
Yeah, absolutely. So my father worked in a factory, foundry, dyeing clothes. And I heard him one day, because my dad used to, bless him, he's not with us anymore, but he used to hold the phone this far from his ear. I don't know why he did it. So he used to shout a lot. And then I heard what he was trying to achieve, and I just thought, well, I could probably do that, not knowing what it was. And I'm a firm believer of just give it a go. Just jump out the plane, and try and build the parachute just before you land, right? Don't worry about what people say, and You might fail. It's good to fail. That's how you learn. I've always said this. You never lose. You either win or you learn, right? So he had his idea. He had a conversation with one of his colleagues from work, and I then realised that I could probably do this. So my best friend Michael, I sent him to India, and basically what we did was import loads of dyes from India and flood the UK market. And when I was about 20, just before I was 21 at university, I sold the company.
Right.
Made good money, didn't spend it because obviously my father, as most Asian illiterate parents were, didn't understand how you could make so much money so quickly. So, wasn't doing anything illegal or immoral. So for years and years and years, I kept it quiet. Then I lost pretty much most of it because I made a bad decision. And that was hard for me because it took me ages to get it to a degree, and to lose it again very quickly. How do you build mentally, emotionally? And I think what helped me through those bad times was my faith and my belief system.
Yes. And you had a good family structure, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. We're very close now. We were very close then. I think my brother's passing made us even closer.
Yeah.
And it was just, what happened. He was a passenger, a drink driver.
Right.
Hit him straight, and they survived, and obviously he didn't. And what doesn't kill you doesn't make you stronger, it makes you stranger. You have a different outset, an onlook on life that, again, we're not here forever. We can go anytime we want.
Yes.
And so enjoy what you do. I'm a firm believer of saying we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
As long as you don't hurt anybody, as long as you're not a nasty person, offline or online, then I think you'll do well.
Yeah, and you've got your siblings. They've done quite well for themselves, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm the youngest, Vic. So they do their own thing. We don't really do business together per se. My brother does a little bit with me, but my mum said, "Do your own thing, be successful, and don't let the family name down. Don't make us proud." And that's always in the back of my mind when I do anything. I don't do any of the things like my colleagues do or did. Alcohol, no. All drugs, definitely no. But I'm a firm believer, again, give it your best shot.
Yes.
Work with people that are smarter than you, not smart. Don't work with smart people.
Right.
You want somebody that's smarter than you. So it's a bit like, weightlifting or playing rugby or whatever. You don't want somebody who's at your level, because you're not going to learn. So when you're weightlifting, you want someone who's stronger than you, because then they can help you carry the weight, right?
Yes.
And same with business too. If you don't work with, again, with respect I say this, don't work with people that don't have the mindset, the attitude. I work literally 24 hours a day,
Yes,
and we both know we're texting each other, and, because why? We're not here forever. The more I make, the more I give.
Yeah.
And that's important for me.
Absolutely. I know we're going to commercial break very shortly. And how long have we got, my producer, in my ears? Oh, we have 6 minutes left of our section 1. I had to ask that question because I can hardly hear my producer.
No worries.
Sorry about that, guys at home, if you're watching. So, in terms of for the family structure, everyone's doing well. You've obviously created a business, the dyes and everything. What was the next enterprise after that? So
basically, every product we have around in the household has a crude element to it, crude oil basically. And I didn't know this at the time. So 99% of everything on this table, even the camera, even the people at home, they've got products at home, it has a crude element to it. And I basically had an idea of selling crude oil from the Middle East into China.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
But that deal took me about 5 years to do, because you need a lot of money to start off with. And I had a little bit of money, but not the money they wanted. But the thing with me is I'm very resourceful. You don't need to have money, you need to be resourceful. And that's the difference there, right? People say, I need to start a business, do I need money? No, you don't. You need somebody that's got money and try and structure a deal together. So they get what they want, the most of it, because it's their money. You get what you want, a little bit, and then you learn. But you will fail, you will fail, and it's good to fail. But sooner or later, you just pick up the structure of the transaction, whether you're selling crude oil or whether you're a dress designer or a cake maker, you will make mistakes, and it's good to make mistakes early on.
Yeah.
Further on the line, you shouldn't do, but you still do, right? So I started doing that, and we have now in the whole group 49 companies within the group. But this year we'll do about $30 billion turnover, because the price of crude's gone up so much, which I disagree with, by the way. And as a group, as a company, we do have a solution where we can bring crude from another organisation or another country where we can get the crude barrel down from about $98 a barrel to about $60 a barrel.
Right.
What that means for your listeners is where they're paying, $1.80 for a litre, they should be paying about £1.12p a litre.
Wow.
And we could do that.
Significant,
But
yeah.
the UK government doesn't want to listen, so we just have to, and I've said this before, the next few months are going to be difficult for a lot of people. The cost of fuel.
Yeah.
But there is a solution. So I think one thing I always try and do with people is keep things very, very simple. Have a focus, have a goal. And don't focus on the process, focus on the outcome. So if that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to make $1 billion business or £100 million company or a £10 million business, focus on the 10 million and the 100 and the billion, not how we're going to get there. Because it's a bit like saying we'll go from here to, let's say, Runcorn, for argument's sake. You will go past the M4, the M5, the M54, the M57, and you will be like all this, but the main focus is that.
Yes.
And that's what you've got to focus on.
No,
and that's very
absolutely.
important.
I know that we're very close to a commercial break now, but when we get back to our interview, section 2, Jojo will be telling us more about his empire, how he built it, and also be talking about some of the unfortunate fake news out there about him currently and addressing those issues as well. So catch us after the commercial break very soon. Welcome back to NTV Unscripted, our second part with the wonderful Jojo Dinsa. So Joe, we were talking about the sort of start of your business growth and the empire. So let's talk more about that.
Sure. So, I started very young, as I said earlier, and then now we've got within the whole organisation, the whole group of 49 different companies ranging from technology, media, telco, oil and gas, our main business, upstream, a little bit of downstream as well. And the main thing we always try and find is we invest in places where there's a lot of issues, geopolitical issues. So, Kazakhstan is big for us at the moment. Africa's very big for us. We haven't invested anything in the States or Europe per se. I think we like high risk, high return opportunities. We've looked at crypto, which I wouldn't personally invest now. I've looked at that, and we'll talk about that later on, the impact of investing in crypto and why I don't think is right for us as an economy to look at stuff like that. But I think, when I first started, I had a vision of just turning over like 100 million. That's enough for me. Because in those days 100 is still, it's a lot now, right? But I think my thirst for helping other people has made me realise that if you make more, you can give more. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
So, and then along the way, you get all the trash people that say, "Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that," and you just got to keep going. And I'm a firm believer of that. When an elephant walks into the jungle, the size of an elephant, dogs will start barking, people will start screaming and moaning and be just negative. Why? Because the internet does that. Right? You can write anything you want on the internet, which is not policed because you can't police it. You can't, as Google always says, and I have some really senior guys within Google. Google doesn't give you fact, it gives you an opinion.
Yes.
So I could say you are a mass murderer. Go online and do it, and then people think you're a mass murderer. You're clearly not. I hope.
Who knows?
But, yeah, exactly. Who knows after tonight? But I think you've got to you've got to be really steadfast in your goal, because again, we're not here forever.
No.
And the whole idea of being successful. Every company out there, Vicky, whether it's HSBC or BP or Athlone or anyone's got a bit of credibility, people for whatever reason like to knock you down. And I've never understood why. Because I'm not doing any harm, nor are you, nor is HSBC, nor is BP. They're trying to do what they want, trying to help people as much as they can.
Yeah.
But people out there have nothing else to do, so you've got to cope with that, and we'll talk about that later. But you just got to keep going. If you have that vision and goal, and you have the fire in the belly and ice up there,
yes,
nothing can stop you.
No, that's right.
So if you say, look, Joe, I want to be, a billionaire-ess, or I want to help 10 million people, want to help 1 billion people, the only person stopping you is you. Exactly. You can make excuses, say, my son's ill, my daughter's ill, my husband's this, my boyfriend's that, my car's broken down, my office is leaked. Yeah, but they're all excuses. The brain isn't designed to make you happy, it's designed to make you survive.
That's right.
Right? So if you say to yourself that, okay, we are going to build a multi-billion-dollar company, then the brain you'll find a way. Because
Absolutely.
again, you focus on the outcome, not the process.
And in terms of obviously the infrastructure that you have, so you've got, I believe one of your brothers is a police officer, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you've never been in trouble with the police or the fraud, or there's
No. Listen, so I'm not scared of my brother. I'm more scared of my mother.
That's good.
Yeah. So everyone
Power
knows.
to mum. She's
Yeah.
watching.
Everyone knows from that sort of our community. We're not scared of our father. We're scared of our mothers.
Yeah.
And so as far as being arrested for fraud or scamming people that says online, they just make things up. And I wish I did scam people, so that at least there's some evidence there. And that's the downside of the internet. The internet can make you or break you.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
2 years ago, I got involved with a crypto multi-marketing company with CashFX. Did a bit of research. I thought I was helping them out. I did help them out. Made some money. Didn't really get involved that much. Now, looking back on hindsight, shouldn't have got involved. I don't endorse them. I don't encourage people to look at them. But do your own research, do your own due diligence. And I did mine. I was again being very honest, a bit of slapdash approach, which is wrong, which is not like me.
No.
But again, I've learned something. Don't go down there. But before that, we had no negative PR because we didn't need any. We don't need, as a company, anything negative online has had zero effect. In fact, it's done the opposite.
Right.
Because people want to talk to me more. Are you this? Are you that? But my clients who know me know me.
Yes.
My suppliers that know me, and they know what I'm like.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about. As long as they pay their invoice every Friday,
Yes.
and as long as I deliver what they want me to do, we're judged on not what we say, is what we do.
That's right.
And if somebody on the internet wants to take a pop at me, not an issue. I mean, carry on, because I'm too busy.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? I had one company, Vicky, listen to this then. I had one company said to me, we've written something about you online, and excuse me, if you give us $7,500, we'll take it off. Spoke to my lawyer, and the first thing he said is that, Jojo, if you give these people the money, you set a precedence of, we could do it again. It's racketeering, modern day racketeering, right? Totally wrong, totally illegal. But again, I showed it to my clients and my supplier, just to let you know, this is there. And do you know what they both said? We don't care. We know who you are. You supplied to us, we're very happy. And as long as you deliver what you say you're going to do, dogs will always bark, Vicky.
Yes. Yeah.
You've got dogs,
Yes.
right? Try and stop a dog from barking. It's impossible.
That's right.
And that's what people are like.
No.
You got to let them do what they want to do, because remember, it's a need for them, not a need for you or me. I wouldn't write anything like that because I'm too busy, and I don't think it's important. But your close friends, 85%, up to 90% of the people that know you would not like you, but they know what to tell you. The 10% or 15% are your family members,
Yes.
your children, your partner, your mum and dad,
Yeah.
your siblings. That's all you should care about. You should never care about what other people think of you, because if you care what other people think of you that much, you wouldn't get out of bed.
No.
Because somebody, so if you think that you wake up in the morning and no one's going to say anything, here's what I would do: start selling ice creams, buy an ice cream van, because everyone loves an ice cream, right? But if you wake up in the morning on proviso, someone's going to say something, embrace it. Just say it's fine. If someone says to you, you're this, you're that, great, but you're not that. I said this to you when we were coming down about a certain colour of your nails. I said, look, they're white. No, they're not. They're red. No, they're white. Okay, well, who's right? Well, they're your red nails. As long as you know what they are, other people have no. They're not important for you. What's important is your 10%, 50% network. They'll always love you. They'll always say, come on, mum, give me a hug, because you're my mum. Doesn't matter whether you're a billionairess or a homeless person. You will always be their mother, and I'll always be who I am to my family, right?
Yeah.
So I don't worry about that. It never gets, and it never has and never will. I've had no sort of counselling for it, other than I know me.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
That's
as long
right.
as you know who you are, do you really care what I think? Because I'm a nobody. You don't even know who I am.
That's
so why
right.
am I going to write stuff about you on the internet? As long as you do what you say you're going to do. And I've always said to people, if someone is that bad, why do you bother?
Yes.
Because it clearly doesn't get to them.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. No, it's well said, and I think I really want to focus on your success as well, because
Yeah,
you have built this
absolutely.
empire, And you said it's what, 30 billion?
30 billion this year will turn over.
That's amazing. So, so different companies. Can you go into more detail about those?
Yeah. So our core business, Vicky, is oil, crude oil. We sell around just over 500 million barrels a year of crude oil. We get it from the Middle East and we sell to China. When you meet these people in China and the Middle East, they want other stuff. So we now started importing, exporting food products.
Right.
For example, in Brazil, 80% of their products goes to China, and that's everything. But again, you've got to replenish what you take out, and then there's an opportunity there. We are going to countries that are sanctioned. The whole thing with Russia, we don't do it with Russia at the moment. Not because of the sanctions, I'll be honest with you. I just think if you look at India as an example, they look after their people. So they are still buying crude oil from Russia, from Gazprom, from Rosneft. In this country, we've taken a different stance. Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. But just imagine, in January next year, or February next year, you got a lady based in Rochdale with 3 kids, who can't put food on the table, who can't put the heaters on because you can't afford it, or can't put fuel in the tank because you can't afford the fuel.
No.
Is she really going to care about Vladimir Putin or the Russian president? You know, reality is no. And that's with a population of 60 million. In India, with 1.4, 1.5 billion people, they've said, listen, it's nothing to do with us. We still need to look after our people. So we should take note of that and learn from that. Sometimes we do things as a country where we don't need to be involved. I think, listen to your people.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've listened to everybody. I think it was important to help Ukraine. That was very important. But the way we did it, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not a politician.
No.
Right?
And maybe our new leadership will help.
Let's hope,
matters
whether it's
in
Liz or
put a
Rishi,
foot in the right direction.
they know what they're doing.
Exactly. And on the sort of philanthropic side of what you do, you've done loads as well, giving back to the community. Tell us about all those projects. Yeah,
sure. So one of the things we did over lockdown, because lockdown was very difficult. For me, it wasn't that difficult because I'm so busy. I don't really meet that many people, right? And so I was Zoom crazy, and signing contracts on DocuSign was the two apps that we use all the time, was DocuSign and Zoom. So I wanted to make an impact enough for me to go, you know what, I'm happy to do something. And so we fed 1 million people in the UK during lockdown. And I was there again every day, peeling potatoes, chopping onions up in the garden with a massive tent at home. And I did that not because I wanted to gain any PR from it, because we didn't get any PR and I wanted no PR. I didn't want any funding. We didn't do any bounce back loans or no help from government, nor friends or family. I did it myself. Got money in the bank, I'll pay for it. No one needs to know what I'm doing. And what I learned, Vicky, as a human being, was how resilient we are as a nation.
Yeah.
I mean, we are really, really resilient. I met people, single mums, single dads, all up and down the country, and they told me their stories, and I used to come home in tears sometimes because I couldn't you want to do more, but you can't do more.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of, and I said this to you before, I'll teach you how to fish, but I won't give you the fish.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Because if I give you the fish, you're going to rely on me all the time. Handouts. But if I teach you, you'll know what to do. So we did as much as we could. Volunteers, that I actually did pay them. So not 100% volunteers, but volunteers enough to get out the house, do something, make an impact. Because it was tough. Mentally it was tough. Long COVID, short COVID, whatever you want to call it now. It was very, very difficult. And it was very, very interesting how I changed, how I looked at life as well. That again, we're not here forever.
No.
I mean, I know so many people, Vicky, that died of COVID that were strong people from every community, Bengali, English, Indian, Punjabi, Muslim, whatever. They were strong people, doctors, nurses, dentists, business people, and it shocked me. It made me realise that, oh my God, it's only a flu. How come we can't find a cure for this? But again, there were different theories of what's happening, and whether they are right or wrong is irrelevant. I just thought, I just want to make an impact so I can sleep at night. Yeah. And I did that.
Good. Yeah. And in terms of obviously your business support as well, I know you've been mentoring people over the years.
We do so much of that, you know.
Yeah.
We always, I get phone calls sometimes, Vicky, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I'm always there to help.
Yeah.
I never say I'm busy, because someone somewhere is on their deathbed right now saying to them, I wish I had one more year. Somewhere in the world, someone is saying, I wish I could reach somebody and help. And I'm very open. I don't do social media. I'm not on Facebook or Insta or TikTok. I do one, you know, what I do, LinkedIn. That's interesting. That's very positive for us. It's a business one. I don't really do anything else. But I think if you can help somebody where you want nothing in return, that's your passion.
Yeah.
If you help somebody and your hand is out, that's your business.
That's
and they're both important. You know, I help people out and they help me out, and you pay for what service you get. But I think it's important to, once you reach a certain level, to give back. And I don't mean just money, because anyone can get money from a bank or from your parents or government loans or whatever. But I think what people need experience, good, bad or indifferent.
Yes.
You need. I'm always learning. You know, I'm a Sikh by faith, and the word Sikh means Sikhna, means I'm always learning.
Right.
So I'm always learning new things, even from your little lovely daughter out there, right? So you have to have an open mind, and you have to have that passion, that drive, that determination, that whatever happens, whatever people think of me as an individual, I'm going to still carry on.
Yes.
Because they could be dead in 5 years' time or in a year's time.
Exactly.
You're still here, right? So when it comes to mentoring, and the other thing with mentoring is this, you got to listen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We said this when we were coming down.
Yes.
How you learn is with your ears open and mouth closed. And people think, well, I know this and I know that. And I think, well, if you know that, why are you ringing me for? I don't get that. You know, I like to learn from people that are better than me. I still like to look at the podcast. I saw a really good one, Dr. Stephen Peters, the professor, about the chimp mind, right?
Yeah. And I'm sorry to stop you there, Joja, but we are going to go for a commercial break. We'll talk about Dr. Peter in a minute. Thank you so much for watching the second section. We'll see you shortly after the next commercial break. Welcome back to part 3 of NTV Unscripted, and we're here with the wonderful Joja Dinsa talking about his rise to success, building a $30 billion multi-million pound organisation. So, Joja, now let's finish the story from part 2.
Yes.
What was the guy's name?
So I met somebody last Friday. He was the father of a footballer, and I just started saying things like, you know, the footballers they're making so much money, which is great, happy for them, not. You know, how do they cope psychologically with the stress of fans? And you know, they get it every Saturday on the pitch. And he was telling me about a gentleman called Professor Stephen Peters, I think his name is. And I started looking at his books and his podcast. And one of the things he says is, as human beings, we've got 3 brains. We've got the human brain, we've got the computer brain, and we've got the chimpanzee brain. Everyone's got a chimpanzee, apparently. And when he was talking through the idea of the chimp, the computer, and the human, I thought, yeah, you know what, I get that. So, for example, road rage. Who comes out first? The chimpanzee.
Yeah.
I.e., he starts banging that cage and saying, how dare you? Not the computer and not the human.
No.
When you get a bit of bad news, who comes out? The chimpanzee, because he's reacting to it.
Yeah.
And the key is you've got to control your chimp.
Yes.
My chimp's name is Charlie. Says on PA. So, no offense. But what Charlie does is, if I don't do what I call Control-Alt-Delete when I go to bed, which is any issues I've got, bit of meditation or daily prayer, get rid of all the mess. If I don't do that, Vicky, what happens is Charlie wakes up and goes, he's right there, sitting on the edge of my bed going, do you remember that guy did this to you? And guess what happens? Charlie starts behaving, starts taking over. What the computer does, it looks at things logically, calm down. And the human brain is a bit of both, a bit of Charlie and a bit of computer. Sometimes he'll be logical and sometimes he won't. So you'll know this. Everyone's got a chimpanzee. You've got one, everyone's got one. And the key is to control that chimpanzee. So when something happens, being self-employed is the best paid hardest work, the worst paid easiest work. So what do I mean by that? It means every day you've got to wake up, put your shoes on, go to work, have the phone calls, get your customers in, pay the invoices.
Whether you feel like it or not. Exactly.
Whether you like it or not. Why? Because if you don't hunt, Vicky, you're not eating.
No, that's right. Correct.
If you're not hunting, you're not going to eat that night. Nor will your children, nor will your mum and dad, nor everyone around you who's relying on you because you're the best hunter, right? sometimes you need Charlie there, sometimes you need your brain there, and sometimes you need the computer there. All three won't mix, but everybody's got one.
So true.
Road rage is Charlie. Control Charlie. You don't need to swear and F and blind.
No.
Why? Forget it. Life's too short.
Pointless.
Yeah?
Exactly.
So in a business environment where some people have Charlie all the time there, is not good. He's sometimes good. Sometimes you do need Charlie there, Charlie the chimp. But sometimes you need Vicky there, or sometimes you need the computer there. It's like a brick. Don't think it's just a brick, non-emotional. But as you go through success, you will need more of the computer brain, not Charlie the chimp. Why? Because he is very reactive. Whereas the computer's more proactive, less reactive. He won't react. The brain won't react. Because you'll get people saying, you're this, you're that. You know, the side effects of being successful in any culture or any environment and any subject matter. You will get people say to you, you're this, you're that. If you have Charlie the chimp there, he's going to start reacting. What does that mean? Typing, phoning. Let people do what they need to do.
Yes.
But don't let Charlie in front of them. Right? Have the computer there or your human brain there.
Yeah.
And that's why when I read and when I listened to his podcast, and I urge everybody to, this guy is just amazing. He really makes people think. It made me realise that, a lot of my life I have been Charlie the chimp, but I should have been Jojo the brain, the human brain, or 80% of the time should just be computer. And I've used it in negotiations recently, where I've taken away Charlie and put in the computer.
Yes.
Where it's just yes, no, no issue, understood, or someone's trying to give me a hard time. Charlie will go straight in there and start banging the cage, running around. You can imagine the chimpanzee in the cage who's shouting and screaming, how dare you, da da da. But this time I thought, no, it's fine. And they were like, oh, okay then. And then they were expecting Charlie the chimp, but when they got Jojo the computer, they backed down as well.
Yes.
And it was a nice, smooth transaction.
Nice and calm.
Nice and calm, right? Whereas if you say, and we live in that environment where 30 years ago there wasn't no social media, so I could just have a go at you, tell my friends about you and vice versa. 4 or 5 people would know. Now, with everyone's got everybody, Vicky, that's got a smartphone is a reporter. Everybody that's got a smartphone is your customer.
That's right.
So you've got to be careful, right?
That's
especially in your industry. For me, it's fine. I've only got one product I'm selling mainly, and that I sell it government to government, so I'm okay. But the other companies, they do have a small impact, but I don't get involved because I don't advertise them actively. But I think when you are in a negotiating table, just think to yourself: is it time to wheel in Charlie?
Yeah.
Or is it time to wheel in the computer? Or is it time to bring in the human brain? And you will know. So when you talk to your mum or your dad, it's not Charlie the chimp.
99.9% of times it's not really Charlie we should be beginning.
No.
It's emotional.
But you need, exactly right. He is very emotional. He will say to you, Vicky, he said this to you and she said that to you and he's really doing this. No, he's not, Charlie. That's what you think because you're very emotional.
Yeah.
You're very erratic. You've got a massive ego, Charlie. Whereas I'm not really like that as a person. And you'll think, your viewers will think back and go, yeah, I get that. Sometimes I am like the chimpanzee when I don't need to be. So the guys that own the restaurants, order comes in, it's wrong, the customer's unhappy, you're unhappy because you know the customer's wrong, but you can't say anything. Guess what happens? Mr. Ali gets out the chimpanzee. What Mr. Ali should do is say, do you know what? I'll fix it for you.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
You literally squash everything. There's no longevity in that negative vibe.
No. And
I'm a firm believer of, as human beings, we create a vibe. We're like an energy. So what does that mean? You're FM, I'm FM, we get on.
Yeah.
But if I'm AM and you're FM, we won't get on, even though we're brothers and sisters.
Yes.
So sometimes your viewers will go to a restaurant or go to a party or a club or a bar, whatever, and they don't feel it. Why? Because the energy, excuse me, isn't there.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. In spiritual terms, it's the frequency.
Correct.
The vibrator.
Absolutely
it's the same,
right.
Yeah.
100% correct.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm, again, recently I've looked up my vibration and said, I need to change my vibration. Because as you evolve, as you grow older, you got to change.
You do.
You can't be the same person 5 years ago. I always say, so how I measure myself, Vicky, is have I been successful, not just monetary terms, but have I been successful 12 months ago? and am I a better person?
Yeah.
And I like to help as many communities, whether it's the Muslim community, the Sikh community, the Jewish community, the Hindu community, whatever community that we try and help people. And again, as I said earlier, I try and leave people better than they were when I first met them.
Yeah, we do. And I'd be testament to that, absolutely. I've known you many years now. So, and on that note, I mean, obviously this is a major problem with celebrities, with tabloids. They get it all the time. But what are the negative side effects of being successful, and how do you deal with them? How have you dealt with those negative side effects?
Well, that's a really good question. There's two parts. When people become successful, or lottery winners, or sell their companies for X and make millions or billions, everybody from the woodwork comes out. Everybody that you don't even know will come out and start saying things about you. They think, I didn't know who you were. Or I met you once at my auntie's wedding. So what I say to people is a need for them, not a need for you to respond and reply. Because as soon as you start responding or replying, they've got you.
Exactly.
Because that's what they want. Because why? They have nothing else to do.
Yes.
Get busy. Be busy. What goes around comes around. If I'm nasty to you, Vicky, and I come from a faith background, as you do as well, then I don't need to say anything to you. God will do his bit. Someone owes you money, they don't pay you, leave it, it's fine. God will do their bit. And then they think, oh, why did I lose that deal? Why did I lose that planning permission on that development? Yeah, because you ripped somebody off. So try and have a 360 view of life, of who you're hurting. Not on purpose, because sometimes you hurt people without even knowing you're doing it, because they don't tell you. So that's the negative side of success. How you deal with it, as I said earlier, is just do your thing, and as long as you're doing something that you believe in, that is good for the people, good for your family, good for the environment, carry on doing it. As I said earlier, Vicky, dogs will always bark. You cannot stop a dog from barking. There are 8 billion people. 3.2 billion have access to the internet. Trust me, not everybody likes you. 80-90% of people that you know do not like you. That's it. I like you, by the way, right?
Oh, thank
so
you.
I'm okay.
Vice versa.
You're okay, cool. But what I'm saying is that, joking aside, is don't wake up in the morning on the proviso that somebody is going to say, we're great, you're amazing, you're this. One of the things someone said to me the other day was, I can't find anything on the internet. Right, but it's the internet. If you want to do proper due diligence, you hire a company, like what we do, and you pay them a fee, and they do everything for you. That's what we do. We don't go into Google and go, let me Google, John Smith, because Google only gives you an opinion, not fact. If I put in, let's say, your name and it says mass murderer, unless I find the bodies.
That's because you know me, though.
Yeah, but you're not a mass murderer, right? So that's how easy it is. And don't be fooled by Google. I mean, it's a shame, really, because it does destroy people. It doesn't destroy me.
No.
I am literally strong as an ox. I am titanium.
I think you're a minority. Because of your mindset and your strong faith as well.
But I have seen people that have, that have been really close to suicide.
Wow.
And I've seen that. And
So
I
sad.
sit down with, it's very sad. And I sit down with them and I said to one guy, what made you do it? And his answer was, Joe, I can't cope with the lies.
Terrible.
I couldn't cope with the lies. People saying this and people saying that. And I said to him, well, did you do that? He said, no.
No.
There you go then.
And it's not just the individual it affects, it's the whole family around
Absolutely,
them.
yeah, absolutely. So, you become drawn into, or you might be really strong as an individual. You might be like me, nothing bothers you. Just water a duck's back. But your mum might not be like that.
That's
or
right.
your dad might be. He might go to church and go, Vicky's doing this and Jojo's doing that. And again, that is it's a double-edged sword, Vicky, of being successful. Unless you live on a remote island where nobody knows you.
Yes.
And I've tried that. It is really boring. And I want to be out and about. I want to meet people. I want to shake people's hands and touch and, what I call press the flesh.
Yes.
But I'm not going to let anybody tell me what I can and cannot do.
No.
If people don't like me, don't talk to me.
No.
Very simple.
No.
That's another thing. People don't like you, don't engage.
That's right.
That's an idea.
Yes.
Just put the phone down.
Yeah.
Delete. Just go away.
Yeah.
Because it's a need for them, not a need for you.
There's some great advice as well if you're listening at home watching this, just life in general, life skills. So let's talk about the future.
Yes.
What does the future hold for Joe Jardine?
We are Vicky, what an amazing question, and thank you for asking. There's so many things we are involved with now, so many ideas. I think metaverse is going to be huge, and Web 3.0, and you need to do a lot of research on blockchain, and blockchain's good. And the scary thing is, I'm finding people always think about, or they worry about, global warming and long COVID. I think I'm more worried about the impact of artificial intelligence on us as human beings. And we do it all the time. I call it like light metaverse.
Yes.
So, for example, you have an issue. I don't like to use the word problem, but you have an issue. What do? You Google it straight away.
That's it. Yeah.
You can't meet people. You do a Zoom call, right? So that is what I call light metaverse. We're using it already. But some of the stuff with the metaverse is really interesting. Like, for example, I don't like flying.
Right.
Let's say, imagine someone says to me, let's go to Sylhet or Dhaka in Bangladesh. Great, love to go there. Oh, it's a 12-hour flight. I don't want to go there. I put the headset on, sponsored by an airline. I go there, and I think, you know what? I like it. Right, I'll go.
Yeah.
So imagine the air miles, the carbon footprint you'll reduce.
Yes.
You don't need to go there, right?
No, that's
so
true.
Stuff like that, AI. The other thing with AI, which is not good, is 10 billion people in the next 10 years.
Right.
The study by Oxford saying 43% Vicky will be out of a job. So the biggest issue now is going to be mental health.
Yes.
The impact of those sort of things on the human brain when you're not working. Imagine you not doing anything for 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
You go stir crazy in 2 hours.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine people drive around, we were like doing on your phone. I was like, how'd you do that? I can't sit in the car, because that's your DNA, that's your makeup, that is your drive. You're really ambitious. I love that about you as a person, as a friend. And you've always been like that. You've always been like that. I've never known you go,
consistent,
I'm going on holiday. You're not going
What's
on holiday.
that?
What does that mean? You're always, even on holiday, you probably speak to somebody and network with them.
Absolutely,
and I love that about you. You are the best network. If you want any great network advice, go work with this woman here. She just knows everybody. I mean, literally, you know everybody. And they always say you're 6 degrees of separation. Vicky, like maybe 2 or 3. Maybe 2 or 3, because she knows a lot of people, and they're good people. So I think for us, metaverse sports is very big for us as well. India and China, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all those countries need what we have here. And I think that's our focus. Real estate in Bangladesh is amazing.
Yes.
The biggest transfer from rural to urban is Bangladesh in the world. Everyone knows that.
Brilliant.
And I think the infrastructure's not ready, and we want to be part of that. Part of the success story.
Amazing. Listen, we're coming to an end of this, would you believe?
Wow.
That hour has flown by.
Yeah, absolutely.
If people are listening to you today and they want to connect, what's the best way to connect or reach out to you?
Go through you've got your link there. I'm on LinkedIn. I always accept most. I've got 30,000 people, I think, so you can follow me if you can. My PA looks after my LinkedIn, so yeah. I'm always open to ideas. I would never ignore people. No. That's one thing I've always said. Even to Charlie's, look, just respond to them. Even if it's something bad, just respond to them. Give them respect. Yeah. Show them, teach them. They don't need to be an idiot to do well in life. And you don't need to be a nasty person to do well in life. You could do well just by being nice and being good to your human being. It's lovely to end the interview on this, but one final takeaway before we finish the show. Listen, my advice would always be never, ever, ever give up your dream, your passion, your desire. If you've got a passion, or you've got a hobby, or you've got a business, don't stop. Because why? We're not here forever. And be nice, be cool, be polite. It's good to be good, and it's nice to be nice. Thank you so much. Very sweet, very sweet. Thank you, Joja, so much for joining us today. Thank you, NTV. I'm sure we'll see you again soon. Lovely. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you for joining us this evening, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.